ॐ वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। ॐ श्री गणेशाय नमः। ॐ गणपते नमः। ॐ गणपते नमः। ॐ गणपते नमो नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुर्साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थसाधिके शरण्ये त्र्यम्बके गौरी नारायणि नमोऽस्तुते। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु महालक्ष्मीरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। ॐ गुणातीतोऽक्षरं ब्रह्म भगवान् पुरुषोत्तमः जनो जानन्दिदं सत्यं मुच्यते भवबन्धनात्। ॐ श्री स्वामिनारायणाय नमः। ॐ श्री लक्ष्मीनारायणाय नमः। ॐ श्री कृष्णनारायणाय नमः। ॐ श्री राधाकृष्णाय नमः। ॐ श्री उमामहेश्वर स्वामिने नमः। ॐ नमः शिवाय नमः शिवाय नमः शिवाय नमः शिवाय। ॐ नमः शिवाय नमः शिवाय नमः शिवाय नमः शिवाय। ॐ नमः शिवाय नमः शिवाय नमः शिवाय नमः शिवाय। ॐ नमः शिवाय। श्री हनुमते नमः। ॐ नमो हनुमते भयभञ्जनाय सुखं कुरु फट् स्वाहा। Welcome to Nitya Satsang. Today is the 11th of December 2022. First, Sachin here would like to offer infinite prostrations, Ananta Koti Dandavat Pranam, to all the sages in the past, today and in the future, and to the Supreme One without a second Paramatma who resides in the heart of all beings. With that prayer, we are continuing our exploration of Kundalini Shakti. Kundalini Shakti, the 9 chakras, the 7 chakras, the Agnya Chakra, what is the relationship with the Atma, how does it impact in our life, in connection with mantras, so many avenues to look at this, and this is all in connection with the entire process that Shankaracharya ji is talking about with regards to Khananam, the second word, to excavate, to realize, to uncover the truths from within. So along those lines, let's just be clear about the basic ideas. Just to review some things very quickly. Number one, we have a lot of energy. There's no question. We have a tremendous amount of stored energy that is not activated. So that activation of energy is the activation of Kundalini. Kundalini is in the Muladhara Chakra. It is coiled in the Muladhara Chakra and it is lying dormant. Every saint, every great scripture and sage has talked about the existence of Kundalini Shakti. Kundalini Shakti is the pure, differentiated power that is present throughout the universe, beyond the universe. It is the one power that is present in us also. It is cosmic power, transcosmic power. So today I want to talk about love. We've talked about it before, but this is a word that in many times we use in common parlance. Love in real sense, meaning prem, love, bhakti, these are absolutely pure, that there is no disturbance, distraction or contamination in them. Now, in our day-to-day life, we are living with family. As I mentioned yesterday about the rebirth process and these things that happen. So we don't want pain, suffering and conflict and difficulty in this life. We want to be able to live with everybody with the great opening of love and affection, no doubt. Great family unity must be there. If that's not there, there's trouble. So, along with that, the higher development of this energy, the opening of the Kundalini Shakti, it means that qualities such as forgiveness, tolerance, patience, these are sadgun. These qualities are going to open when there is the purified energy that awakens inside. This is another way to understand this. When Kundalini awakens, there is the purified experience. So it is a power that breaks through blockages. For example, we have an argument with someone. Take a very simple example. Some argument is there with somebody. That thing is staying as a block inside the mind. So when Kundalini awakens through the Bij mantras, like we say Om Gam Ganapate Namaha, this is a Ganesha mantra. Then there are bhajan kirtan are done, Namah Shivaya mantras, the Namah Shivaya is for the Agnya Chakra, and there's a lot of other sound mantras like Lam, Yam, Ksham, Ram, like this, and there's those also. We will go through those also later on and explain them. But the fact is that blockage, we want to prevent blockage, and if any blockage is there, we want to remove that blockage. Two things, right? So when blockage is not there, meaning a conflict-laden blockage, the biggest problem in humanity is is conflict with other people. That conflict is what creates all the trouble. This is one big problem. And then, of course, so many worries, tensions, and those kinds of things are there also. Fear is a big one. So when Kundalini awakens, the fear dissipates. A strength comes from inside. That, there's a great power that awakens where you feel great strength. Abhayam. There's no fear. It destroys fear. So the energies begin to combine very nice. This occurs when there is mantra sadhana, guru bhakti or guru nishta, along with scriptural manana contemplation, which we're doing here, and at the same time there is letting go completely of every single conflict, worry, tension, and fear, to be aware that this is not to be held inside. Don't identify with it and don't hold on to it. We're holding on many times to all kinds of difficulties. No, difficulties are not to be held on to. They are to be transgressed. If somebody is having, let's say, a physical health problem, they say, oh my God, I'm having this. Do something about it and get rid of it. Don't just stay with that problem. It's like that. So Kundalini Shakti is our very root power, and once it begins to awaken, it takes the psychological mental consciousness into the spiritual consciousness. That is the bridge. So in the mental consciousness we have all of the limitations, as I've mentioned before. The harmful attachments and the worries and all those things, they can ultimately cause a lot of rebirth, but they can also cause a lot of pain and suffering in this world. So we don't want that. Right now, we don't have to worry about rebirth and all that thing. Main thing is that we don't want any kind of difficulty in this world. We don't want physical health problems. We don't want relationship problems or financial difficulty or career problems or any of those things. So to break through all of that, holding on to Namah Shivaya mantra, holding on to the sadhanas we're doing, and letting go completely fear, worry, tension, stress, ignorance, ajnan, letting it all go. Rag, dvesh, let these things go. Letting completely go of every conflict. Don't keep even one conflict in the mind. See, if we were to examine directly inside, what we will find? Somewhere there is some conflict, some worry, some sense of, oh, this is missing now. This happens also, that somebody has passed away, we miss that person, right? Isn't it? So that feeling comes. That's a drain of energy too. And somebody will say, wait a minute, hold on. Should we not miss people that are gone, or relationships that are gone, or friends that are gone, or we're missing them because we're missing the relationship. So how to change it? Bring them, all those people that are passed away, for example, into the form of God. Bhagwan ki murti mein unko rakhna. That they are with Paramatma. They're still there. They're just inside Bhagwan. That's all. And I'm going to be there also one day with them. So that the sense of lacking, missing, it all disappears. Now that's about people who passed away. What about relationships that don't exist anymore? Maybe there was an argument that occurred with somebody and the relationship is gone for 10 years, 15 years. But then that still lingers inside. Oh my God, we had such a good time, but then this argument occurred. Now that person is not talking to this person. This kind of stuff goes on. How to deal with that? These are the real things, right? To recognize this is energy being wasted again in this thinking. If you want to reestablish a relationship, talk to the person, say, hello, how are you? Everything is good. But the best thing to do, whatever the decision may be made, bring that relationship into bhakti, in devotional contact with Paramatma. When we're doing devotional practices as sadhana, bring all of that and offer it at the feet of God. Bhagwan, you take care of everything. I belong to everybody. Whatever may have happened has happened. Don't linger on that. And if you see those people again or whatever, wish well for them. If there is some interaction to have, fine. If not, it's okay. Koi baat nahi. What difference does it make? Why there's so much holding on to these things so deeply inside? We're holding on so deeply to things that have been gone, to certain regrets. That's another big one. We say something to somebody, so much regret is there. I shouldn't have said this. Why did I do this? Chhod do sab regret. It doesn't mean you have ego. If you want to apologize or something to somebody, do that and get rid of these blocks. Don't hold this regret and all this thing. Say, Bhagwan, whatever has happened is gone. From in the present, all the right energies and right thoughts and right feelings are there. I'll continue forward. It's the power of staying in the present. The power of staying in the present brings about the Kundalini awakening. That's really what it is. It awakens so beautifully. So in our day-to-day interaction, there is such a beautiful, loving flow. This is what we are talking about today. That is love. Kundalini, which is the pure, undifferentiated power, is love. Purna prem. Purna, और उसमें क्या है? उसमें दिव्य प्रेम की अनुभूति है. See, prem we have like in the human frame. Then there is divine love. वो दिव्य प्रेम की बात है. ठीक है? मीराबाई is in that state of divya prem with Bhagwan Sri Krishna. वो दिव्य प्रेम है. Now, is that possible to have with family members and with other people in the world? Sure, why not? Of course. When we say we love God, God is not something separate and devoid of people around us. But people around us are maybe within the three gunas of Maya. We are not seeing that. This is the whole point. To see through the layers of Maya and that pure Paramatma within, who is residing in the heart of all, that vision to see the Paramatma in the heart of each person, that is love. Then we are not seeing the person's doshas, their deficiencies. We may be aware, we are aware of those things, and we wish well for them. It is very easy to see somebody's fault, to see somebody's form, the physical form. What Vedanta is teaching, don't get stuck with the form. For example, we see a homeless person, we see an African American person, we see an Indian person, a North Indian person, a South Indian person, we see a rich person, a poor person, a young baby, an old person, all differentiation, Caucasian person, Hispanic person, all this thing goes on. We see all of these differences in Prakriti. The ability to see through them and see that one Paramatma in all, that is heightened divine vision. That divine vision, Divya Drishti, that is the Kundalini that has awakened where it removes the blockages of differentiation. That this person is good and this person is bad and this person is from India and this person is from China and this person is part of my caste and this person is this way and that. All those differences, one sees beyond them. It doesn't mean that the differences in life don't exist. They do exist. There are different races, there are different languages, there are different traditions, there are different experiences of the Panch Vishayas. Some objects are going to give much heightened experience. Some are going to give less experience. They're divided into three categories: Uttama Vishaya, Madhyama Vishaya, and Kanishta Vishaya. If you're sitting in a high-class car of $90,000 and it's got every possible facility and it's a smooth ride and 8-cylinder engine and all that, it's a high-quality car. Then you can also buy a $15,000 vehicle. It's fine, it works okay, but it doesn't have the same quality as the 90,000 one, right? So the gradation of experience is there. One sees beyond that. This is Ananda. Ananda, Kundalini awakening, is It is a movement into Ananda. That's what it is. But it is a transition. So through the chakras, through the experiences of the world, transcendental experiences, yes, that is there. But we're looking at it now just in terms of our day-to-day experience. The big yogis and all that, they're sitting in dhyan and they're going outside the three bodies and they're seeing the chakras and going inside the chakra. Ye sab bahut yogic baat hai sab. The most people, they cannot even understand that, and you try to do that, you'll not be able to do that also. Nor is it necessary to do that. Because even after doing all that, you're still coming back into this world anyway. Even after seeing the chakras and seeing the Brahmand and seeing all this, this world is there. So what is of more relevance is to live in this world with that piercing vision of seeing Paramatma in all, with love, that loving vision, and then performing one's duty, and contemplating on the divine truths. Then this life we have, it is a very steady, harmonious, beautiful life. It is a life that is lived simply, simple living and divine thinking. We say simple living, high thinking. We can change that a bit. Simple living, minimalist living, very straightforward living, but there is brimming wealth, adhyatmic wealth, adhyatmic vaibhav isko kehte hain. That is the real wealth in life. That adhyatmic vaibhav increases. Aur usme se kya hota hai? You experience ananda. So the Kundalini is already at the heart chakra, at the Agnya chakra. For example, when we have so much love for Bhagwan के विषय प्रेम जब उत्पन्न होता है, already the heart chakra is active. So these paths towards Paramatma, the pathway towards the higher realization, is through the experiences of life, recognizing the functions of Prakriti, nonetheless seeing through. Now this is the whole point. Practically, how do we do this? Take today, for example. Whoever we meet today, we can try this today. Whoever we meet, whether it's our children, our pets, our neighbors, our people in the supermarket, it could be anybody that we see today. Let's say after the satsang is over. Even right now, but after the satsang is over. Anybody we see the Ishta Devata present. Don't see the person. Bring in the vision. Let's say, for example, Shivji is the Ishta Devata. Oh, Bhagwan Shankar hai. He's present there. Just bring that inside the mind. And inside the mind, namaskar kijiye. Not that person, not that form, not the ignorance of the person, not the causal body, the subtle body, none of that. It's the Chaitanya that you're seeing. And when we do this, it's not something like you're bowing down, even like, it's just a vision only. It's a drishti that, oh, Paramatma is, and then continue. And then continue with the awareness that the Paramatma is there. See what happens. Experiment. This is called spiritual experimentation. To actually do this regularly, consistently, we begin to open the powers from inside. The Kundalini Shakti opens beautifully. The love opens. Now what happens? The interaction with other individuals is no longer in a distorted way. Even though that individual, that person may be having some difficulty, etc., whatever their problems may be, our interaction with them is not distorted. It is very, very powerful. It is very, very pure. And that kind of love, that kind of beautiful, beautiful love is really where this entire spiritual realization opens up. So anyway, when we talk about Kundalini, there are the nadis. These are the spiritual nerves. These nerves connect with the subtle body, the physical body, and they need to be clear of all blockages. right? So the energy that it flows through, prana energy, many energies flow through the nadis, and that gives us good health. Just like when we exercise regularly, it makes us feel better because the energy flows better, the physiology of the body is better, right? So these are basic ideas that are pretty much known. Now, as we're moving ahead to understand Shakti a little bit further, in terms of Kundalini, Shakti is, of course, that great power, that dormant power, that infinite power, that is called Mahadevi. Mahadevi is the great goddess, the supreme goddess, the supreme Prakriti, with underneath whom all of the reality exists within. So there are many texts. There's the Devi Mahatmya. This is one text. There is the Devi Bhagavad Puran. It's another text. There is the Kalika Puran. Then there are the Shakta Upanishads, and there is also the Devi Upanishad. So Devi Mahat. So these are all big texts that are written by the rishis for the purpose of giving to the world out of grace that connection with that Mahashakti. That is the most extraordinary thing. The fact that there are also Mahavidyas. There are great Mahavidyas. Now, what is a Mahavidya? I want to explain that also here. Mahavidya, think of it this way, all the university subjects, where they come to the culmination point, that is where Mahavidya begins beyond that. You see? So there are various goddesses. There are different forms of the Devi that are the 10 Mahavidyas. And they are Kali, Tara, Tripura Sundari, Bhuvaneshwari, Bhairavi, Chinnamasta, Dhumavati, Baglamukhi, Matangi, and Kamala. These are 10. These are the 10 forms of the goddess that are called Mahavidya. That Mahavidya, the sadhana that is done to connect with them, opens the Kundalini Shakti again further, and it connects with the Brahmand, the Shakti that is in the Brahmand, the higher power. It connects with them. So these sadhana that are done are extraordinary. There's thousands of mantras, and there are various Shakti Peeth throughout the whole of India where these sadhanas are done. So the point is, when we do this mantra Om Aim Rim Klim Chamundaye Viche, actually within this mantra all 10 of the Mahavidyas are present. It is a Maha mantra. It is the main Shakti mantra that is connecting with the Kundalini, that opens the Kundalini further and further and further. So that is why regular sadhana of Aim Rim Klim Chamundaye Viche, along with Namah Shivaya mantra as a complement, it will remove the obstacles that are present in the world. We've talked about that before also. So for example, when we say Mahakali, Kali is another form of the Brahman only. Kali devours time. Kali means one who destroys time. It's very interesting. The destruction of time means what? That we are bound inside psychological time. And that is the point, that she destroys the bondages that are present inside the past, present, and future. So the symbolism that is there, as well as the Swarup actually has to do with this. The Mahakali is of a pitch black complexion, darkest than the darkest of the night sky. She has 3 eyes representing the past, present, future. The Trinetra, past, present, future. She has shining white, fang-like teeth, a gaping mouth, and her red bloody tongue hanging from there. You see the image of Kali. What is the reason for this kind of Swarup? It has to do with the fact that we have blood inside our body. That blood inside our body, is giving us life, but that blood has to be transmuted. So the blood that is inside our body, the blood that is inside every part of the organ, that is a big blessing actually. But then why this kind of a form of Mahakali? The reason is, it refers to the transformation of our own blood. Meaning what? When we reach a state of divine love, Divya Prem, our physiology of the body changes also. That is one reason behind it. Another is that the wastage of energy through different vasanas stops. That is another meaning. And then the skulls that she has on her, this garland of skulls, it is referring to the fact that the Jivatma has taken so many births, within the framework of time, within the Brahmanda. So that Jivatma that has taken so many births, that she is aware of that. She's within the framework of time, it is going on. And she is cutting the Rakshasa. So the cutting of the Rakshasa, these negative tendencies that we may have, they get cut away. That is so the Kalika mantra is this Klim Bij mantra. Om Aim Rim Klim. This Klim Bij mantra is the Mahakali Bij mantra. There's other ones also. So speaking the Klim Bij mantra, what does it do? It gives us experience of this world, and it takes away the negativities that are preventing the best experience in the material world as well as beyond the material world. So this is Goddess Kali. See, this is the first Mahavidya, and there's 10 of them. So when the Mahavidyas open up, they clear away all the disturbances. They clear away difficulties, and it is quite a swarup. It is quite a swarup. Now see, the second goddess in the 10 Mahavidya is Tara. Tara is the goddess as guide, as protector, who saves us. The guidance that comes in the buddhi, what ought to be done, which way to go. This Tara, there's special Tara mantras also, but within Om Aim Rim Klim, everything is there. So just doing that one mantra will open all of the 10 Mahavidyas also, no problem in that. So interestingly, the energy of the sun is also present in the Tara, because see, all of the planets, all of the star systems, everything is interconnected in this vast infinite energy. You see, so there's a lot of meaning behind this. It is quite an amazing swarup, and there are many mantras that go along with Tara. So this, I'm just showing you what kind of access occurs to the goddesses. When we increase sadhana, Om Aim Rim Klim Chamandai Viche, 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 Om Aim Rim Klim Chamandai Viche. When sadhana is increased, Mahakali Tattva opens up. The goddess and she can also appear. Many of the sadhakas, they have experiences of seeing these different forms of these goddesses. So this is all very possible. So that is Tara. Tara Devi is one of the Mahavidyas, and that is the goddess as guide and protector, who saves us from all kinds of troubles. Now, then the third one is Tripura Sundari or Lalita or Shodashi. So that's the third goddess. So the goddess who is beautiful in the three worlds. So what are the three worlds? We have Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti, Avastha. There's beauty in every experience of Prakriti. In different experiences of Prakriti, there is beauty. So that allows us to experience the beauty of this world. And it is very interesting that she, from a more tattvic point of view, she is the head of something called Mani Dweep. It is the eternal abode of the goddess. Mani Dweep is a place where the goddess lives. Essentially, there's a form. It's a Shodashi, or the Tripura Sundari, is seen with a molten gold complexion, 3 placid eyes, wearing red and pink vestments, adorned with ornaments on her divine limbs and 4 hands, each holding a gold lotus, a bow, and an arrow. She is seated on a throne. This is Tripura Sundari. Amazing form of the Devi is there. That is Tripura Sundari. Again, these are higher anubhav. Through the chakras, as Kundalini awakens, one can see these forms of the goddess by Krupa. So when the sages, they are in deeper pradhana, deeper sadhana. For example, there's Lalita Sahasranam, there's Lalita Trishati. There are many mantras. There are extensive mantras that are oriented towards the goddess. Like in the Lalita Sahasranam, Shri Mata, Shri Maharagni, Shrimat Simhasaneshwari, Chidagni Kunda Sambhuta, like this. So it goes on. So the entire Lalita Sahasranam is it's an opening into the Devi. It is Devi itself. That is the power. You see, so that is Lalita Devi or Shodashi or Tripura Sundari. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Even the most beautiful forms in this world that we see, they are just a fragment, just a little drop of Lalita Tripura Sundari. It's a Mahavidya. That's the third Mahavidya. Okay, now the fourth Mahavidya is Bhuvaneshwari. Bhuvaneshwari is the goddess as the world mother, whose body is the 14 lokas. Remember I mentioned each Brahmanda has 14 lokas. So each Brahmanda has 14 lokas. So the entire Brahmanda is considered to be the body of the goddess. Is one of the bodies of the goddess. It's a sharir. And that is Bhuvaneshwari. So Bhuvaneshwari is a fair golden complexion with three content eyes as well as calm demeanor, like this. She wears red and yellow garments decorated with ornaments on her limbs and has four hands. Two of her four hands hold a gourd and a noose, while the other two hands are open. She is seated on the divine celestial throne. You see, so these swarupa of the four bhujas, chatur bhuja, these are actually there in the divine abode. This is not some just symbolism only. So if one does the sadhana for Bhuvaneshwari specifically, one can actually have the darshan of the goddess in that way. Wo bahut badi baat hai. This is the fourth Mahavidya. You see, now the fifth Mahavidya is Bhairavi. It's the fierce goddess, Bhairavi. So the fierce god, the female version is a version of Bhairav. So there's Bhairav and Bhairavi. Bhairav is a form of Bhagwan Shankar. It's a fierce form of Bhagwan Shankar. So there is in Ujjain. Ujjain mein Kal Bhairav ka mandir hai. You know, so there's a temple of Kal Bhairav there. There's many different Bhairavs there. There's Ashta Bhairavs. So that's another whole subject about Shiva and the emanations of Bhagwan Shankar. But Bhairavi is of a fierce, volcanic red complexion, you know, with three furious eyes and disheveled hair. So it is a destructive power. What does it do? Bhairavi Devi destroys the massive problems. Sometimes in life there are massive difficulties. Again, the Bhairavi Devi can be manifested even through the Om Aim Reem Klim Chamundai Viche, through this mantra, based on what's going on in one's life. We do a havan, we do a prarthana, and those problems can be obliterated by the presence of that opening and awakening of Bhairavi Tattva, of Bhairavi Devi. That's the fierce goddess. It is really, really amazing, actually, and it is like this. You know, when there are terrible conflicts going on, very serious problems going on in one's life, this is where these 10 Mahavidyas they come into play. And there are special pujaris and pandits in India, maybe in this country also, I'm sure they're there, that do extensive sadhana for specific purpose to activate the Mahavidya. You know, so that is a very specialized knowledge, and that is a high amount of training to actually open the Mahavidya specifically. But in our case, we can have access to it through the Navaran mantra. Om Aim Reem Klim Chamundai Viche. This mantra with bhakti bhav and with a havan, if you can do, it's very good. If not, just keep a small lamp with a tilak and it's good enough. No problem. And Bhagwan Shankar ko prarthna karna, Guru ko prarthna karna, and do the sadhana. And if you go into Om Aim Reem Klim Chamundai Viche further, 51,000 times, 21,000 times, 51,000 times, 100,000 times, 200,000 times, this mantra sadhana increases, it will open the access to the Mahavidyas. It will take care of everything. You know, whatever difficulty, problem, issue is going on, that will definitely get obliterated. It will find its resolution somehow. And then the further development will continue. That is Bhairavi Devi. That is the fifth Mahavidya. The sixth Mahavidya, this is the most interesting Mahavidya, that is Chinnamasta. Chinnamasta, this is a very deep subject, actually. Chinnamasta has a self-declared decapitated head. She's holding her head in her hand. It's kind of a scary thing. And then there's three these fountains of blood that are coming. What is the meaning behind that? It has several meanings. And it's actually, she's standing on the fusion of Kamdev and Rati. Kamdev and Rati are fused together in pose, and she's standing on that. This is the sixth Mahavidya. That is Chinnamasta. Now, what is the meaning in this? It has a transcendental meaning. And it has a meaning in our life also. Those who are grahastha, those who are involved in sexual contact, intimacy, etc., the Chinnamasta Swarup is very much applicable there. Because those couples that are intimately involved, for them, if they do Navaran Mantra with the intention of developing love, which is what we were talking about, that prem, undisturbed love, then that Chinnamasta Devi's power becomes active within the relationship between the couple, and then that relationship becomes so beautiful that they actually resonate with divine vibration. वो एक बड़ा subject है. We'll maybe cover it in some specialized way later on sometime. But this is the sixth Mahavidya. That is Chinnamastika or Chinnamasta. It is called the sixth Mahavidya. The seventh Mahavidya is Dhumavati. Dhumavati Mahavidya, that sadhana is very, very difficult to do. It is not something we would need to worry about. But it basically is a destructive component. She's depicted as an old lady, and then there's a lot of this... See, in the sansar, is there misery? Yes. Is there fear, exhaustion, restlessness, anger, hunger, thirst? These terrible things that are there in the sansar, the experiences of those terrible things that occur in the sansar, which we do not want, they are under the control of Dhumavati Devi. So when the worship of the goddess occurs, she removes those problems. This is the basic idea. Because we see people in poverty, in illness, in malnutrition, in sickness. That experience is possible because of the Prakriti manifesting that way through and the form of the goddess that is in charge is Dhumavati Devi. But when we do sadhana, Om Aim Rim Klim Chamundai Viche, and there's also Dhumavati sadhana itself, but that is not to be done unless you have a proper guru. That's not something we need to even go into ever, probably. So don't worry about any of that thing. But the point is that the terrible things that may occur in life can get stopped by Dhumavati Devi. The 8th Devi is Baglamukhi Devi, the 9th is Matangi, and the 10th is Kamalatmika, which we will cover tomorrow. I just wanted to mention them, who they are, what is their power, what is the relationship with Kundalini. As Kundalini awakens, the opening into all 10 Mahavidyas is definitely possible. Adbhut baat hai. These are amazing things, and it is protection. Again, for us, we don't need to worry about too much technical stuff. Bhakti karna. Om Aim Rim Klim Chamundai Viche, beautiful mantra. Namah Shivaya mantra. Other mantras, other things are fine also. And with Bhakti Bhav, the more we intensify both mantras, Namah Shivaya and Navaran mantra, to that extent that things become even more and more clear, more and more open from our mind, more possibilities open. So we'll stop here for today, do the mantra Pushpanjali. We'll continue with the final 3 Mahavidyas tomorrow, and it'll be very interesting to talk about that.